My name is Laurie Weahkee. I'm Dinek Coach Tianzuni Pueblo, and I work for the Native American Voters Alliance, and I come out of a community organizing background. For Native American communities, we actually have a pretty sometimes confusing but complex relationship with the federal government, which really kind of trickles down to our relationship with our local counties, cities, urban areas, as they relate to how they impact our reservations, our land, our water. And so for these reasons, it's really important for Indian people to get involved. That voting is actually one piece of the pie, but it's actually a very powerful piece. And it's not that hard to do if you really think about it. I come out of a strong environmental background, right? So, protecting Mother Earth is extremely important. Protecting the water, making sure our kids have a secure and healthy future, making sure that education is alive and that it's actually feeding and nourishing our young people. Like, those are the things that I think your average Indian person would say, yes, I'm for. I really believe that. I think those things are just basic things that we should protect for the generations yet to come. And yet, a lot of those folks are not making the recognition or tying these issues with actual candidates, with actual policies, with actual trends, I guess, in terms of maybe clean water won't be available. Maybe clean air won't be available. Maybe we're going to take all the money from your school and give it to a school another 50, 100 miles away. At NAVA, we're really trying to tie those a little bit closer. To make sure that people are understanding that we're not just asking you to vote in the president, yes or no, but all those different issues that they represent. If voting is only one tool in the toolbox, that means there's still more work to be done. After Election Day, I think it's really critical that we begin to find ways to develop ways to hold our elected leaders accountable to the different issues that they said they would champion for our communities. So for those sorts of reasons, we're really, like I said, pushing on our own folks, our own community, to make sure that we start to build a stronger, active, and informed electorate, right? So that way, when we do talk to power, when we go speak with our legislators, senators or whomever, that they will know that, we actually are showing up to the polls and voting. And the last reason I think that's really critical is that local races are just extremely close right now. Here in New Mexico, you've had some races, won or lost by 5 votes. You've had them, within 100 votes. With a small community, even like Tesuque Pueblo or Sandia Pueblo, maybe they don't have the biggest population, but if they decide that they want to all vote and vote as a block or, make their decisions based on whichever policies or candidates are going to make the best decisions for Indian people, it really makes sense then that your 98 votes or your 112 votes or 300 votes actually means something, and that can actually sway and swing the vote towards a candidate that's really going to be looking out for the interest of Native people. I really think it goes back to protecting what is near and dear to our hearts, right? If you're a Native young person, you registered to vote in 2008, you need to hang in there because change doesn't happen overnight. We can't just elect the first, black president and suddenly walk away and think that he's going to do everything by himself. I think that it requires all of us from all the different levels, and regular folks like us, we need to make sure that we do our part, and I really encourage young people to begin to think about politics. The truth is, that's really where the decisions are being made about you, about your community. We should vote and do what we need to do to protect, our rights and to enhance and to develop our rights in a way that is useful and pleasing to the holy people, the holy creator, the holy beings. And so in that way, if you think about it on that level, that all those medicines that are out in the world, all those good people that are out in the world, by voting we can actually be helpful to them. But at least with the Native communities, I think there's a real interest in like, let's put our chips in because things are tight. You know, those budget priorities are tight. And we have the potential to have leadership in there that really understands government-to-government relationships. And we have the chance to have leadership that would, you know, not tokenize our agenda. It concerns me that a lot of, you know, folks that run for office don't have a long history of public service or volunteerism or whatever. You know, some do, but not all of them. And I think that that's something we really need to look at as part of also our analysis on who's going to be the better candidates.